Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is December the 1st, 2025. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Happy Monday, happy Garfield Day. Hopefully you got that lasagna. Hopefully you got some garlic bread, a little bit of wine on the side. As for me, I got mine. It was a pretty good day. Let's see. Let's go ahead and start from the top. Classic Sunday fashion. I went to bed a little bit too early, which means I woke up a little bit too early. Though I will say it didn't seem to compromise my day too much. I think I was up maybe around like 5 o'clock-ish or something to that effect. Had a little bit of stomach things and maybe want to get up early anyway. So I was like, all right, let's just get after it. So we get up and we go to work. Oh, I will add, there was a funny thing that happened where I was trying to combat the issue Sunday night. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do the taboo of drinking like a whole big cup of coffee with some espresso. And I'm going to stay up. I'm going to be able to make it to midnight. Awesome. I'm going to be perfect. I drink that coffee not even an hour after. My eyes are still like just ready to fall, just ready to fucking collapse. I'm so tired. And so I'm like, all right, we're going to go to bed. And, like I said, still wake up around 5-ish or whatever. We get to work. Everything is A-okay with that. So, all right, we'll take it. Now, this is the second half of peak, right? We made it through the first half. It was arduous. We made some enemies. Peak has not been kind. But I'm glad to report that at least this Monday was nice and slow. When I say nice and slow, we still filled up the crusher, so not that slow. But I came in, I think I kept it under 6 buggies the whole day. There was no skids. I think there are skids hidden throughout the warehouse waiting to come back home to the crusher. But, until they come, we're fine. I don't have to worry about it. But that being said, this is just the start of the second wave. I don't want to count, I don't want to get too complacent. I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, So I'm still gritting my teeth, clenching my butthole for a hard peak. You know what I mean? I'm going to be as prepared as I can be and keep my head on a swivel. But I'll take a slow Monday for a change. We love to see it. So work was overall good. I will say even a little bonus treat for me. There was leftover donuts from the weekend, and I got a cinnamon roll and a blueberry cake donut, which that is hitting 777. That is jackpot. There's no way that those donuts should have made it throughout a whole day. Those are prime pieces, and people just left them, let them lay fallow. Give them to me. So yeah, diet be damned. I gobbled them things up. And they were, like I said, we're talking, I don't care. We're talking maybe an extra day. That's fine. I'm not a big leftovers guy, but for a cinnamon roll and a blueberry cake donut, I'll make it happen. I'll make the sacrifice. Let's see. Post-work, though, we go to the gym. It's busy, which was expected. I looked to the Smith machine, filled up, no spot. I look to the free weights, no bench, everything's taken. Okay. So I immediately just hop on filler work, try to get in what I can. As I'm doing that, a Smith machine pops up and I go, well, okay, let me get that. And I do my whole Smith machine routines, all my movements there. And I wasn't able to get to free weights, but I was able to just then go into cardio, get everything done. I got out of the gym like 15 minutes early. We'll take it for a Monday. Honestly, that's solid. That's A-okay. So yeah, that was pretty much my whole day. It's been a good day. Feels pretty productive. So yeah, we'll take that. But yeah. Let's see here. Before we do the startup, I did want to go ahead and just get into the roll call. So let's do that, and then we'll do the startup, and then we'll be good to go. All right, I got to pull this up. Bear with me. All righty. First off, Stephanie Renee, Edward Haas, Mama Bear, Aaron Walden, and Kira Finsky. Shout out to y'all. Thank you so much for being amazing newsies. Thank you for supporting this project, this effort, this daily thing or almost daily thing that I like to do, that I try to do. It really does mean the world to me. Thank you so much. And then some shout outs. If you need your nails done, Nail Alchemyst, go check her out. That's Kira. Do that. And then also attached to Kira, go see Sculptor. If you're ever out, you're looking for a local show that they are posting, I will put a link to both Kira and my homie Ryan. If you're looking for a show, Sculptor is where it's at. Amazing rock. I'm trying to think. It's like Psych. It's like Doom. It's nice, man. It's hard for me to describe well, and I'm not good with genres. My friends give me shit for that all the time, and that's valid. But if you're just looking for just some cool ass fucking rock, that's where it's at. So yeah, definitely check them out. Check the Facebook page out. I'll go ahead and put the link in the show notes in the bio thing. All right. So yeah, let's go ahead and do our startup and let's get into some news. Alrighty. Oh, I did not refill my water. That's upsetting. Should be enough. Should be enough to make it through. All right. Here's the fun part. Ooh, I'm really sorry for that. That is not what I want to do in someone's ear. Ooh, Okay, and we're back. Our first story comes from Al Jazeera. Floods in Indonesia, Sri Lanka, Thailand leave more than 1,140 dead. Flooding and landslides have killed more than 1,140 people across Indonesia, Sri Lanka, Thailand, and Malaysia following tropical storms in recent days, with efforts underway to help thousands affected by the extreme weather. Arriving in North Sumatra on Monday, Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto said the government's priority was how to immediately send the necessary aid. Now, they're going to go into more details of this article throughout each of the countries I mentioned. I really just wanted to do a quick just roundup on each area and like how many people were killed just in terms of the number. Just really wanted to highlight it. Over the past few days, I have been like getting like updates on my ticker, like headlines, and I was like, damn, like it seems like so many areas are getting hit by like just this big storm or like, all this flooding and all this, natural disaster type shit. And I didn't really know like where to start. Like initially I was at the top of the day, I said, okay, we're going to cover Sri Lanka. But then by the end of the day, I realized that Indonesia, I was like, damn, they have even more people who have died from there. And then I'm like, well, fuck, I didn't even know about Malaysia. Thailand had been constantly mentioned. So I was like, okay, obviously this is one where it's a bit too big for my pay grade. So if you're looking for the details, they are here in this article. But in Indonesia, 502 people were killed. And that's obviously just as of recording it, reading this article. I'm sure that fortunately, these numbers are only going to go up. In Malaysia, at least 3 people were killed. In Thailand, 176. And in Sri Lanka, 335. Excuse me. Now, if there's any more regions that are going to get hit, from any more flooding or anything like that, I'll definitely come back to the story. Any more updates, we'll circle back around. But I at least wanted to highlight that. I feel like over the past week or so, there's been other stories that I may have missed, and if so, mea culpa. I know that happens. But yeah, whenever these kind of weather stories come up, I'm always feeling like really out of my depth. But it's obviously very sad, and my condolences to everyone who's lost their lives and their whole, life as they knew it before a storm like this, before flooding like this happened, is, now upside down. Like, you got to literally pick up the pieces of your life. So that's devastating whenever, wherever. So, I know it's always worth covering. So I wanted to start off with that. All right. But we're going to move on to our next story from the Associated Press. Former Trump lawyer Alina Habba is disqualified as top New Jersey prosecutor. U.S. Appeals Court rules. President Donald Trump's former personal lawyer, Alina Habba, is disqualified from serving as New Jersey's top federal prosecutor, despite his administration's maneuvers to keep her in the role, an appeals court said Monday. A panel of judges from the Third U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, sitting in Philadelphia, sided with a lower court judge's ruling after hearing oral arguments at which Habba was present on October 20th. It is apparent that the current administration has been frustrated by some of the legal and political barriers to getting its appointees in place. Its efforts to alleviate its preferred candidate for U.S. Attorney for District of New Jersey, Alina Habba, to the acting role of acting U.S. Attorney demonstrate the difficulties it has faced. Yet the citizens of New Jersey and loyal employees in the U.S. Attorney's office deserve some clarity and stability, the court wrote in a 32-page opinion. It concluded, "We all affirm the district court's disqualification order." The ruling comes amid the push by Trump's Republican administration to keep Habba as acting U.S. Attorney for New Jersey, a powerful post charged with enforcing federal crime and civil law. It also comes after judges questioned the government's moves to keep Habba in place after her interim appointment expired and without her getting Senate confirmation. And if I'm not mistaken, there was a whole attorney hired for the job. And because they had made this whole move to ice out Habba, they said the administration was like Pam Bondi moved and said, no, we're going to make sure she gets fired, that person. And then you're going to put Habba in. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about this. And that's what got us here into this legal quagmire where, now that it's been appealed, they're saying, yeah, no, you didn't get this by legal means. You can't have it. You can't just be in this position just because they want you to be in it. The people have to want it. You have to be put here. So yeah, here we are. And this is, the second time we had the Lindsay Halligan situation, which obviously, like most of the stories, I didn't really describe maybe as well or as eloquently as I should have. But yeah, that was thrown off of the merits of you were not hired properly for this job. You can't have the job the way you got it. So you just can't rule on this case. That in of its face, you're cooked. It's not just how you handle the grand jury shit. That's a whole other issue, right? So yeah, I guess they're kind of 2 for 2 on this one. Now, granted, with the Halligan thing, that's still in the works. That's still in motion. And it remains to be seen what Habba's fate is going to be from here. What are we doing with New Jersey at this point? Is the Trump administration really going to be all in on this? They're going to dig their feet. We're going to have another showdown about this in some other way capacity. I don't fucking know. Let's see here. Was there anything else I really wanted to pull? No, I really don't want to read the whole article, y'all. This is kind of some stuff we've talked about before. Just, in terms, she had a campaign of making New Jersey red. She was really pressing on, Democrats like Mayor Ras Baraka, who were coming out to protest the immigration stuff, coming out to detention centers. And, they were trying to get him for trespassing and all these, extra ass charges and shit. And, Habba was supposed to be spearheading this stuff and making sure this shit was going to go down. But it's once again, you're only here in a temporary capacity. And then it's we were moving to replace you. And then, the administration goes, no, we want her here for keeps. But here we are. And once again, this still has me pondering because I don't think about Habba often, but I do think, at least what the rumor mill was telling me at a time, that she had a chance at Pam Bondi's job. She could have been the big shot of this whole fucking thing. And I wonder why she didn't take it. Once again, maybe that's wrong. Maybe, that rumor was bullshit. I don't know. But like, that seems like a cherry gig. And I thought she didn't take it because maybe she had some fucking foresight. She could see the forest for the trees or some shit. And maybe she's like, I got this as good as I could get it. I'm going to move on to bigger, better things. I'm queuing up my book type of vibe. No, she wanted a job in New Jersey, and now she can't even get that job. So I just don't know. But maybe this is part of the course for the average flunky, You're kind of almost overestimated, and then you see what they do, and it's like, oh, they're not some cutting sly savant or anything like that. Like, they're just who you expected. But hey, we'll see what happens. Obviously, the story is not fully done. But, I mean, with the appeal, I don't know how far up you're going to get this shit. So it seems like you're going to have to come up with a new plan of action here. Is it going to be Habba? Are you going to go back to the other person who got fired? Once again, I wish I could remember their name, but I can't. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, bit of a denial there. Let's move on to our next story. From the BBC News. Starbucks to pay NYC workers $35 million after alleged labor law violations. Starbucks has agreed to pay more than $35 million or 26 million pounds to thousands of workers in New York City to settle the city's claims that the company denied them stable schedules and arbitrarily slashed their hours. Over 15,000 hourly workers are set to receive $50 for each week they worked from July 2021 through July 2024, city officials said. Vildavera Mayuga, commissioner of the New York City Department of Consumer and Worker Protection, cited alleged violations of city law requiring predictable schedules for workers. The settlement, announced on Monday, comes as the coffee chain faces pressure to improve working conditions nationwide. Starbucks said in a statement that it is committed to creating the best job in retail and ensuring our practices follow all laws. It added that it has recently outlined plans to invest $500 million to improve coffeehouse staffing and training. Officials in New York City started investigating Starbucks in 2022, a probe that began with dozens of worker complaints and grew to encompass all Starbucks locations across the city. The City Workers Protection Department found a pattern of systematic violations, officials said in a statement. Starbucks broke the city's Fair Work Week law more than 500,000 times in 2021, they said, calling the agreement announced on Monday the largest worker protection settlement in the city's history. All workers deserve to be treated with dignity, and we are proud to stand up for our neighbors when a multi-million-dollar company like Starbucks chooses to systematically violate its employees' rights, Mayuga said in a statement. Under the terms of the agreement, Starbucks will also be forced to comply with the city's worker protection laws moving forward, which require fast food workers to give employees regular schedules and opportunities to take on extra shifts. The company noted that New York City's worker protections laws are complex. We support the intent of the law and remain committed to compliance, but its complexity creates real-world challenges, Starbucks says. Compensation to employees in New York City will be for legal compliance, not unpaid wages, the chain said. Look, I hate this fucking thing. It's just like when I hate when a business cries poverty. Like, we can't really afford this. We're just a humble conglomerate. Like, no, make it fucking happen. You could milk these people for fucking money. You should supply the money then. When it comes to the situation where you're like, we're just so confused on these complicated New York laws. You have bigwig fucking lawyers to fucking get around and skirt around every fucking union fucking law and any kind of actual law that any just normal worker can have. Don't give me that bullshit. Go fuck yourself. Figure it out. I don't want to hear it. Nobody has fucking time for that shit. Crying fucking ignorance. Okay, well, it's criminal, bitch. Anyway, sorry. Starbucks has, in recent years, faced consumer boycotts, a wave of new competitors, and a customer backlash over high prices, as well as turmoil in its leadership ranks. I'm just gonna go ahead and smash my highlighted portion here. Last month, workers represented by Starbucks Workers United, went on a strike in their latest bid to pressure the coffee chain to pay better or for better pay and staffing after negotiations stalled. When this company cuts our hours, understaffs our stores, and busts our union, it makes it harder for us to do our job and create that great experience for customers. Kai Fritz, a union barista, said in a statement on Monday after New York City officials announced their agreement with the company. This settlement is a step in the right direction. So I do like how that kind of dovetails with something we've covered previously on the podcast. And we've talked about Starbucks unions before. You know, it's another reason why I get so fucking passionate about it, because it is a part of the tapestry of this whole fucking thing that I want to see more of in America. Like, we are so primed for it. It's just so crazy, the chokehold that, you know, motherfucking corporations and just politicians, our government just has on, like, wanting to make sure that we don't unionize, that we don't have actual equal pay, equal rights for each other, you know, like the things that we actually deserve and need as human beings. It's crazy that there's just so much against us. And we work and provide so much for people. We provide so much, not just for people, you know, in terms of people consuming, but these corporations who get to benefit so much at the fucking top, and, you know, and then are getting whipped by shareholders. Yeah, make us more money, more money, more money. And it's like, yet again, the people all below that who are making this all fucking happen are just, you know, ants on a log, pawns in a game. Like, no, it's us, it's you, it's me. Like, we should be getting a fucking cut of this action. It's our action. So, you know, I'm all for seeing unions get theirs and, you know, making some shit shake. So, hell yeah to that. We love to fucking see it. Clap it the fuck up. Anyway, we're going to actually go ahead and move along. We have one more story, and it's tragic. It's sad. It's zoo related. But yeah, let's go ahead and take our last break, and then we'll go ahead and close it out in Brazil. Buddy. I'll tell you what, my dear listeners, I'm very happy to have made it to December. This is like on the Monopoly board, like right before you get to the, you know, the $200, you know, and it feels good. There's a lot of anticipation in these dice rolls for the next, you know, few weeks, and I just want to get through it. I mean, and you know, there's Christmas, so this is Christmas. That's always fucking nice. Especially now that I'm not in like a frontline retail situation. Christmas definitely is so much better. So is Thanksgiving. I can definitely like take a breath and appreciate those things a lot more. Even though I work on Black Friday now, it was not like how I worked Black Friday back in my mall days. Like, so different. So this year, this month, I'm really just excited to get through it. I'm sure I'll get more nostalgic, more, you know, I don't know what the word is, reflective in coming days and weeks. I don't want to blow my load all on December 1st here. But, you know, it's definitely been a year. A lot of milestones that I got to see for myself that I'm really proud of. And I'm thankful for all the people who have been listening along the way. Thank you so much for that. I know we're getting a little bit of in the emotional weeds here, but let me go ahead and finish up this last break. You know, sometimes you got to get that emotional part in before the credits, because I know a lot of people, you know, they click, and I understand, I would too. Actually, that's not true. Most podcasts, I try to stick it out to the end, but that's just me. I'm a freak. Anyway, from people, everybody, people. Anyway, people, like the magazine. 19-year-old man mauled to death by lioness at zoo in front of other visitors after scaling 20-foot wall into enclosure. A teenager was mauled to death by a lioness after sneaking into an animal's pen in front of fellow visitors at a zoo in Brazil. On Sunday, November 30th, Gerson de Melo Machado climbed a wall about 20 feet high to break into the big cat's enclosure at Parque Zubotanico. Oh, I'm probably just fucking that up, but we're just going to keep it moving. Aruda Camara in Pessoa, okay. Paraíba. Local news outlets And multiple news outlets reported. I'm not reading those. I'm fucking them all up, and I'm in there. The Botanical Zoo, which is home to hundreds of animal species, confirmed Machado, 19, was mauled to death in a news release shared on Instagram. Once the incident was confirmed, the park was immediately closed, following all safety protocols, the zoo wrote. The teams mobilized the competent authorities and provided the necessary support to the service and work. Excuse me. Oh boy, that was bad. For the service and work of the experts. The zoo announced that it will remain closed amid the ongoing investigation into the incident, while reassuring visitors that it has strict safety standards. The Aruda Kamara Park is in solidarity with the family of the boy who passed away. Deeply regrets the loss and wishes strength at this difficult time, the news release concluded. The security team allegedly attempted to stop Machado as he climbed into the lioness's enclosure, but he moved too quickly. Carrillo Brazilianess reported, citing a statement from the city hall in Yao Bisaya. So that's just fucking me up every time. The state's civil police forensics team has not yet ruled out that his actions may have been suicidal. Machado had previously been diagnosed with schizophrenia and had been in several institutions, per Correio Brasiliense. He came from a family with a history of mental health issues and grew up in extreme poverty. So yeah, I mean, that was obviously this got to be a huge motivating factor here in the situation. I actually did wind up like looking and seeing the video. It's very sad. It's very unfortunate. It is one of those things where also too, there's another story of Machado. Like he believed that he could tame a lion, like that was something he could do. And like he had wanted to try this out so bad and be with a lion so bad. There was a situation where he had snuck onto landing gear on a plane going to Africa to pursue his dream. And they caught him in that situation and stopped him. But in this situation, he was able to like break away, get onto a tree and climb down. And you see like him climbing, and then it pans, like the camera pans to the lioness, and she just like immediately springs into action and like gets to like right under him, and he's climbing down, and like he kind of pauses and then he continues to climb down, and nature runs its course. That's really all else I can say it, right? Like I don't believe, and I kind of glad the line, it's Liana. Sorry, Liana, that's the name of the lioness. I guess I'll just go ahead and read this statement here. Liana, the lioness at Aruda Kamara Park, is doing well and will continue to receive all necessary care, the zoo wrote. After the incident, she was immediately evaluated by the technical team and remains under continuous observation and monitoring, as she experienced a high level of stress. It is important to emphasize that euthanasia was never considered, the zoo continued. Liana is healthy, does not exhibit aggressive behavior outside the context of the incident, and will not be euthanized. The protocol in situations like this provides exactly what is being done: monitoring, behavioral assessment, and specialized care. So yeah, I am with the zoo on this, actually. Obviously, this is a very unfortunate, it's a very grim situation that unfolded. But I hate any kind of situation like this, and, you know, you see the animal, you know, dispatched, and it's like, I just disagree with, like, I don't know, and I get it. Each of these situations are specific to themselves. You can't, you know, paint with a wide brush here. But I am curious if, you know, if people have differing opinions or, you know, concurring, I don't know. But, you know, what are your thoughts on this situation? Obviously, it's very sad. It's very unfortunate. You do hate to see it happen, because this is obviously someone with mental health, you know, issues, and, you know, they wanted to do this thing, and, you know, they tried to force the moment happening, and it's like, I mean, maybe you could say, oh, there could have been better security, better this, better that, da da da. But I've seen these things happen, in many a place. So, it's unfortunate when it does, and obviously condolences to the family. But once again, for me, I am glad to see the line is saying, hey, we're gonna, evaluate the situation, but this seems like a very isolated thing, and we don't think that, we need to, euthanize this animal, kill this animal. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I am curious, maybe, what the audience thinks on that. But yeah, that's it. That's all I have for today. That is the episode. But yeah, if you'd like to help out, support the effort, join the Newsies, get on the roll call for next month, next year. Patreon.com/Isaiah News. Let's see. Free ways to hit me up, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. Subscribe to the YouTube, follow on TikTok, follow on Spotify, follow on Apple Podcasts, wherever you like to listen. Let's see. Leave a like, leave a cool comment. Sharing is caring. 5 stars on Spotify, 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. Would you kindly? Always helpful, always appreciated. But if you don't do any of that, that's all right. I really just appreciate you just listening, just kicking it with me. Let me kick it with you. Maybe this is on YouTube. I don't know. Sorry, I had to do it. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.